Kesa ya Allah ya Allah. Samuni.
Jadi bahwa dua usul pada serba ada tempat. Wah, gimana mau lebaran ya kamu? Nggak mau musik, kamu kau skripsi kamu. Das terima. Mau ya? Nih, ini. Kan ini tempat yang itu baju baru loh, Pak. Mana mana? Ini. Daster itu di bawah. Ini. Pojok. Mute.
Pak Abdurrahman, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Ya,
Sehat
Prof.
ya?
Alhamdulillah sehat.
Senang lihat Bapak nih di sini, nggak pulang kampung.
Bukan. Pak BD nyantai banget ya. Mbak
Ya,
BD
Bu.
posisi di mana?
Bu Hadir lagi di kampus ini di Sukarame.
Oh, Sukarame. Kawan-kawan
Iya,
Sukarame udah pada tahu ya?
iya,
Ada yang tahu deh enggak?
iya. Ini biar jaringannya bagus kalau di kampus. Kalau di rumah nanti putus-putus.
Ya, betul. Di Adap apa di mana?
Di adab Bu Hadir.
Di Adap info dengan Miss Eni ya.
Oh iya, iya. Baik, nanti saya
Saya
sampaikan.
sudah kasih tahu sih di grup kita. Cuman saya
Oh
lihat
iya,
namanya belum ada nih.
oh iya.
Mm-mm.
Assalamualaikum Bu ini Bu Heni
Waalaikumsalam, Mbak
mohon
Mia.
izin Ibu untuk pembicara sudah join Zoom belum ya Bu?
Belum,
Belum ya. Mungkin
belum.
saya nanti butuh cek sound dulu biar
Ah,
enggak
ah.
gangguan.
Belum. Saya nanti coba kita nanti hubungin lagi ya.
Siap Bu.
Terutama yang di Jepang mengingatkan ya. Nanti mungkin, iya. Makasih Mbak Mia.
Sama-sama Ibu.
Apa dari sekarang kan
Mm.
Itu ada tapi sudah mungkin mereka berpendapat
Assalamualaikum, Pak Dir. Pak Dir udah hadir tuh.
Iya, Assalamualaikum Pak Dir, udah bergabung ini.
Ya, itu Pak Dir itu namanya di rename aja. Itu Mas Arief.
Ya,
Mas.
Kak Prodi.
Alhamdulillah sehat.
Alhamdulillah. Hasilnya oke ya sudah.
Suaranya.
Ah,
Suaranya kurang jelas.
bagus, Prof.
Ya,
Mas,
saya enggak pakai background karena pakai handphone backgroundnya nyetingnya belum bisa.
Siap. Ya, Pak. Saya kebalik ini settingan anunya.
mana
tulisan.
punya Ustadz? Enggak ada penglihatan dari sini bagus, Ustadz.
Kayaknya Pak.
Assalamualaikum, Pak Ibnu Kizam. Sudah masuk Pak Ibnu Kizam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ya, terima kasih Prof. Sudah bisa bergabung.
Baik, sama-sama Bu.
Ya, baik Prof.
Assalamualaikum
Sambil
semua. Selamat
ya,
pagi semua.
pagi.
Oh, mirror ya.
Berapa peserta? Ya, kita unpin. Udah tadi.
Assalamualaikum Prof. Alhamdulillah sudah bergabung pagi ini.
Assalamualaikum Prof. Beliau.
Waalaikumsalam.
Sehat, Prof.
Alhamdulillah Pak Direktur. Alhamdulillah sehat. Semoga Pak Direktur sehat juga nih.
Alhamdulillah. Lama tidak bersua ini kita.
Iya.
Setelah nggak di AVBIS lagi gitu. Terakhir di Bandung ya.
Oke. Tuh. Insya Allah nanti habis Lebaran lah kita ada waktu ketemu.
Main-main ke Lampung, Prof.
Oh iya. Iya agak lama ini. Belum.
Biasanya kita udah ada acara di VB itu sering Lampung, Jakarta, Lampung sebenarnya Prof Tulus. Tapi Prof Izam kayaknya belum sering ke Lampung ini kayaknya. Lewat Zoom dulu ya.
Iya Pak, ini kebetulan ya ini urusan domestik masih banyak ini. Oh, ada akreditasi internasional juga kita itu Pak.
Oh iya, iya. Dengan salah satu tim yang internasional juga, betul? Iya.
Di fakultas kami ada 5 ini Pak, 5 prodi yang mau ada visitasi
FIBA.
bukan FIBA kita ya, apa namanya? Akwin.
Akwin, oh iya.
Akwin. Yang Saintek itu namanya ASIIN.
Oh, agak ke arah nama Arab, Asiin, Asikun.
Iya. Se-UIN ada 60 prodi Pak yang mau akreditasi internasional. Ya, ASIIN dulu ini bulan-bulan April Pak ya. April apa Mei, kita nanti Mei ya.
visit AL gitu ya, kayak visit AL kita PT langsung tim dari sana.
Ya, tim dari sana, betul.
Ya. Datang
Sebagian
langsung.
sebagian via Zoom, sebagian eh, offline gitu.
Ya mudah-mudahan sukses, Bro.
Amin, amin. Makasih doanya, Pak
Persiapannya luar
Direktur.
biasa di Jakarta ini. Mudah-mudahan kami cepat
Iya,
nyusul juga.
iya. Tidak bisa dihindari ini.
Nah, itu sudah mulai berlaku akreditasi itu yang 3, tidak terakreditasi dan internasional. Nah, itu pilihannya yang unggul-unggul harus sudah internasional memang itu. Itu
Iya,
pilihan.
iya.
Hmm.
Iya, betul Pak itu. Kita kalau ada mahasiswa asing jadi agak bingung kalau tidak ada akreditasi internasional, Pak.
Betul, 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 betul. Sudah hampir jam 9, apa sudah siap Bu Fadil?
Sedang persiapan Prof. Kemungkinan apa Prof Tetsu agak sedikit terlambat. Saya bilang ya enggak apa-apa.
Iya.
Mbak Mia sedang cek sound. Mbak Mia, Mbak Mia.
Ya, Assalamualaikum Ibu.
Ya, waalaikumsalam. Ini Prof Gizam sudah ada, tinggal kita menunggu Prof Tetsu, tapi sudah mengabari beliau agak terlambat karena mungkin perbedaan waktu juga ya. Sebentar lagi Pak Dir kita mulai. Kita sesuai rundown aja Pak Dir ya.
Iya, silakan jam 9 on time kita mulai.
Iya, baik, baik.
Ini beberapa menit ya.
Ya, sambil kita persiapan juga. Yang semua teman-teman udah siap ya, yang admin. Ya. Apa sih? teman-teman, Pak Dir, Prof. Gizam, kita segera mulai saja pembukaannya. Mbak Nisa mungkin bisa segera dimulai. Terima kasih.
Baik, Bun. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning and welcome to the international webinar with the theme Contribution of Digitalization Financial Industry to the Real Sector, Postgraduate of UIN Raden Intan Lampung. Tabi pun.
Iya, Bun.
Respectable Director of Postgraduate UIN Raden Intan Lampung, Profesor Dr. Ruslan Abdul Ghafur MSI, Honorable Vice Director of Postgraduate UIN Raden Intan Lampung, Dr. Haja Hendi Noviarita MSI, Head of TU Subdivision, and all of Head and Secretary, Magister and Doctoral Program in Postgraduate of UIN Raden Intan Lampung. Honorable Dean of Faculty Economics and Business UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Profesor Dr. Ibnu Kizam MSI AKCA as the first speaker. Mr. Tetsu Konishi, PhD from Fukuoka Women's University, Japan as the second speaker, and all participants. Alhamdulillah, let us praise to the Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Because of His blessing, we are able to attend this international webinar in a good condition. Salawat and salam always be given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the darkness to the brightness era. Ladies and gentlemen, let us open this international webinar Friday, April 5th, 2024 by saying Basmalah together.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
The next is singing the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. Participants are expected in a good position. April 5th, 2024. The next is singing the national anthem of Indonesia Raya. Participants are expected in a good position. Mars UIN Raden Intan Lampung. Mars UIN Raden Intan Lampung.
Bersatu padu membangun negeri, tentukan cita-cita mulia, insan berakhlak bukan ikhlas. Bersila Tuhan Negeri Raden Intan, aku pandang surah pedoman kita, kuatkan jiwa Islam yang kokoh, menuntut Islam sebagai rahmatan lil alamin. Kita tembus kebanggaan menjadi yang terdepan. Raden Intan, universitas kebanggaan kita, wujudkan karya yang nyata, seluruh negeri adil sejahtera. Bersatu padu membangun negeri, teguhkan cita-cita mulia, insan berakhlakul karimah. Universitas Islam negeri Raden Intan, aku pandang surah pedoman kita, kuatkan jiwa Islam yang kokoh, tuntut Islam sebagai rahmatan lil alamin. Kita tembus kebanggaan menjadi yang terdepan. Umurin Raden Intan, universitas kebanggaan kita, wujudkan karya yang nyata, menjadi adil sejahtera.
The next agenda is welcoming speech from Director of UIN Raden Intan Lampung, as well as officially opening the international webinar. Honorable Professor Dr. Ruslan Abdul Ghaffur MSI, time is yours.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Abdillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawalah. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to extend an warm welcome to you all to the international webinar on the theme contributions of digitalization financial industry to the growth of the real sector. Present in collaboration between the postgraduate program UIN Raden Intan Lampung, International College of Art and Science Fuqua Women's University Japan, and UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. As the director of postgraduate at UIN Raden Intan Lampung, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to some speakers. The first speakers, Dean of Economy and Business UIN Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta, Prof. Dr. Ibnu Kizam, SAMSI AKCA, my friend, my brother, and the second speakers, Prof. Dr. Tesu Konisi, PhD, from Associate Professor, International College of Art and Science for Women University Japan. To the all participants, our I'd like to extend my gratitude to the entire organization committee for the exceptionally conditional of this international webinar, especially Bu Wadir, Pak Kaprodi, at our Department of Magister Islamic Economic, Pak Dr. Samsul Hilal, and all teams. It's really value the significance of this event and anticipate that will provide invaluable insight at international level, particularly for academic and students, especially in quality of Sharia economic. This includes both undergraduate and postgraduate students currently in the process of crafting this proposal, conducting research. Undoubtedly, this webinar promises to be beneficial for our postgraduate community and all students joining us via Zoom today. With that said, let us open this webinar by reciting Basmalah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Enjoy the seminar. Thank you all of you all, especially for the first speakers and the second speaker. Wallahu muwaffiq ila aqwamit thoriq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for Professor Dr. Ruslan Abdul Ghafur MSE. The next agenda is recitation of prayers that will be delivered by Dr. Haji Syamsul Hilal MAG. Honorable Dr. Haji Syamsul Hilal MAG, time is yours.
Honorable participant for international seminar, firstly, let's pray our Lord. Allahumma salli ala habibina wa syafi'ana Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa sallim radallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala untuk sahabat Rasulillahi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidina warhamhum kama rabbawna shighara. Allahumma inna nas'aluka 'ilman nafi'an wa 'amalan mutaqabbalan wa rizqan halalan thayyiban. Allahumma innaka 'afuwwun tuhibbul 'afwa fa'fu 'anna ya karim. Allahumma innaka 'afuwwun karim tuhibbul 'afwa fa'fu 'anna ya karim. Allahumma innaka 'afuwwun karim tuhibbul 'afwa fa'fu 'anna ya karim. Allahumma ij'al jam'ana hadza jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Allahumma la mani'a lima a'taita wa la mu'tiya lima mana'ta wa la radda lima qadaita wa la yanfa'u dhal minkal jadd. Rabbana atina min ladunka rahmatan wa hayyi' lana min amrina rasyada. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzabannar. Bi fadlika subhanallahumma wa tahiyyatun fiha assalam. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for Dr. Haji Syamsul Hilal MAG. Ladies and gentlemen, thus the series of opening ceremony international webinar of postgraduate Win Raden Intan Lampung 2024. Let us close this ceremony by saying Hamdalah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
The next is taking photo together. To all participants, please open the camera. To all participants, please open the camera and I will count 1 until 3. Our staff will take the photo. 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you to all participants. Now we come to the main agenda that will be a presentation from speakers that will be guided by moderator. To Miss Mia Selvina MSAK, time is yours. Thank you for the attention. I'm Anissa as the Master of Ceremony today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Miss Anissa, SNMC. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Nassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'du. Rabbi sholli sodri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tabikun.
Iya, Bu.
Ya, Bun.
His Excellency, Director of POSI, His Excellency Vice Director of Postgraduate UIN Raden Intan Lampung, Ibu Dr. Haja Heni Noviarita MSI, His Excellency Head of Sharia Economic Postgraduate UIN Raden Intan Lampung, Bapak Dr. Haji Syamsul Hilal MAG, His Excellency, all the speakers and all the participants. I am Mia Selvina as the moderator. It's very grateful for me to become a moderator in this international webinar. In this occasion, we would like to talk about contribution of digitalization financial industry to the real sector. It will be a very delightful topic to discuss since technology has changed our lifestyle as well as business operation, including the financial industries, to become more digital. We are curious about how the transformation as the effect of digitalization is, and it will be discussed with two competent speakers who are spare their valuable time, share knowledge with us in this.
I juga on cam deh.
I would like to have warm greeting to all the speakers today. The first speaker we have Bapak Profesor Dr. Ibnu Kizam, MSI AKCA, as Dean of Faculty Economics and Business UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning. Thank you.
How's your day? Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you. And the second speaker, Mr. Tetsu Konishi, PhD, Associate Professor, Fukuoka Women's University, Japan. Have you joined this Zoom? I think Mr. Tetsu will come soon after they have their own business. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to request you to open the camera during the webinar as our respect to our speakers. And by opening the camera, you will improve your attention, so the new knowledge will improve. The new knowledge will become more memorable for you. And all the participants, you have the time for discussion after the speakers delivering the material. However, if you have a question or something to discuss, would you please to send it in the chat box during the session? So you are allowed to write something or chat something in the chat box during the speaker speaker session. And at the end of this program, we will read your message in the chat box, and I will give you some attention to ask directly to the speakers. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the first speaker. But before that, I would like to read the short curriculum vitae of our first speaker. Professor Dr. Ibnu Kizam, SAMSI AKCA, was born in Jepara and lived in Ngemplak, Sleman, Yogyakarta. His core disciplines are accounting, Islamic finance, and Islamic capital market. He graduated from bachelor degree in Tarbiyah Faculty, IAIN Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta in 1993 as the best graduate, bachelor degree in accounting, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta in 1998, certificate of registered accountant given by the Department of Financial Affairs Indonesia, Master of Science in Accounting, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta in 2001, and getting cum laude, Doctor in Accounting, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta in 2011, Professor in Financial Accounting in 2022, and he got some certificate of completion from McGill University, Canada, Building Management Institute, GMT, Jakarta, and Brain Bench. There are a lot of professional experiences, some patents. He also has published many working papers, supervised and examined PhD thesis. And due to this productive performance, Professor Ibnu Kizam get the award as the most productive lecturer in writing articles of internationally reputable Scopus Index journal for the 2019 until 2022 period, awarded by Dean of the Faculty of Business UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. Please welcome Professor Ibnu Nikam. You have 25 minutes to speak, and the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for this time. The moderator this morning. Mia Selvina. Okay, thank you, Mia Selvina. Your Excellency, the Director of Postgraduate UIN Raden Intan Lambung, Profesor Dr. Ruslan Abdul Ghafur. Good morning. Your Excellency, the Honorable, the Head of Sharia Economic Magister UIN Raden Intan Lambung, Dr. Samsul Hilal. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Honorable Vice Director of Postgraduate UIN Raden Intan Lambung, Dr. Hajah Heni Noviarita, MSc. Your Excellency, the second speaker, Tetsu Konishi, PhD, Associate Professor, Fukuoka Women's University, Japan. And the respectful audience who are present today, thank you very much. And I would like to express many thanks to all of you today, because today is very bright, and I think I will express many thanks to all of you. Let me show you my slide before speaking.
Can you share by yourself, or you need a committee
Okay,
to
thank you.
help you?
Itu hasil ngajar 1 tahun itu.
For all this
Langsung
participants, please unmute your mic to make this webinar conducive, please.
Morning, Mr. Tetsu.
Good morning, Mr. Tetsu. It's nice to have you here in this international webinar.
Have you seen
Hello.
my PPT? Have you seen all of you?
You can see your PPT.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the title of my PPT here is Digitalization of Sharia Economic in the Real Sector. How does the digital Sharia economy and financial inclusion play a role in developing Islamic boarding school-based halal value chain? In this occasion, I would like to give some emphasis about how the digital Sharia economy and financial inclusion play a role in developing Islamic boarding school-based value chain in Indonesia. Because this title is very important, because we know that in the Sharia economics that's happened in Indonesia now have happened all the community, not only Islamic Muslim, but also non-Muslim. Not only happen in the area of the urban area, but also in the district area or rural area. Not only happen in the community of students, but also non-student community. Yeah, I will show you about the latest headline for digital adoption and use around the world, the state of digital in January 2024. This data is from the United Nations World. We know that the world population show that there are now 8 billion people or more living on Earth. The global population has increased by 74 million people. And since the time last year, equating to year-on-year growth of 0.9%. We know that not only that, the number of unique mobile phone users sits about 5.61 billion at the start of 2024. 9.4% of the world's total population now uses a mobile device, with the global total up by 138 million since early 2023. We know that more than 60% of all the people on Earth now use the internet. The latest data putting the global user total at 5.35 billion. Internet users have grown by 1.8% over the past 12 months. And we know also active social media user identities have passed 5 billion mark, with the latest user figure equivalent to 62.3% of the world population. This description gives us how important the internet and social media and the like now has around us today. Take for example like that, this is just the conclusion of my description. And we know also the digital growth today. This is the digital growth or the change from time to time. Take for example, total population now, about 74 million people change year on year, about 0.9%. And also individual using internet, there is a change, 1.8% year on year change. It's about 97 million. And also social media user identities is about 5.6% year on year change. It's about 266 million people. Now, we also show you about overview of the internet use. This is how individuals use the internet and how the people use the internet per day. Take for example, average daily time spent using the internet by each internet user is about 6 hours, 40 minutes per day. It is a very huge time for people using internet day to day. It is also individual using internet as a percentage of total population is about 66.2%. Also, percentage of users accessing the internet via laptops, we know that Usually students and also not students also use internet via laptop. It's about 61.8%. And we know the gender between male and female using internet is about 63.5% for female, and then 68.8% for male. This is the comparative using internet. And now we know the spread of internet adoption in the world. The global average is about 66.2%, and then the spread of internet adoption around the world from the Northern America, this is the highest, about 96.8%, and maybe the lowest, Southern Asia, Middle Africa is about 32.1%. Yeah, it's about more than 50% of the people in the world are using internet today. Now, before we come to the main issue about how finance inclusion and then digital economy play a role in the pesantren or Islamic boarding school in Indonesia, we have to discuss what is digital economy. According to Telkom Indonesia, this is the biggest industry, biggest enterprise in telecommunication Indonesia. Digital economy explain the new economy, the new enterprise, and the new technology, and how they think to one another, how they enable one another. It is not simply about networking of technology, but about the networking of humans through technology. It is not an age of smart machine, but of human who work through network to combine their intelligence, knowledge, creativity for breakthroughs in the creation of wealth and social development. It's not just an age of linking computers, but of internet working human ingenuity. So there are 4 things it takes to succeed in digital economy. There are 4 components here. The first one is customer experience, and then product enhancement, collaborative innovation, and organizational leadership. So if we hope that digital economy will be successful, we have to give some emphasis, or the most emphasis to the 4 things here: customer experience, product enhancement, collaborative innovation, and also organization leadership. The 4 things must be integrated each other, and how this point correlate each other. And the next question is, what is the approach to develop startup digital in Indonesia? Take, for example, I take one example that is explained by Telkom Indonesia also. He said that digital creative industry ecosystem development Indonesia must have 3 things here. The first one, people, and then planet, and then participation. Here, the focus is how to develop digitalpreneur like startup through Indigo program in Telkom. Yeah, since 2009, more than 2,200 startups have participated in Indigo program. Some greatest program in startup in Indonesia. Yeah, and then Planet Telkom also provide 19 creative facilities in 12 cities in Indonesia, in Jogja, in Jakarta, in Bandung, and so on. And then participation here, they are quad helix collaboration. ABCG. A is academic and in research institute, and then B business, and then C community, and then G government. They must work together, academic and research institute like us, yeah, in universities. We have to make research, make lecture, and then in industry, maybe business, and then in community also, they must be involved and engaged in some project, and then in government also give some policy and guidance. And I also will give some picture about the categories of startup in Indonesia, like agriculture, and then big data, e-commerce, and then education, enterprise, finance, games, health, Internet of Things, logistics, smart city, travel and tourism, and so on. There are so many categories, I think, and we will extend some of these categories into some other categories. Take, for example, agriculture, there is fish, and so on and so on. This is just examples. And I will skip this. And this is just also the examples of comparative e-commerce practices in Indonesia. There is some like Bibli, Bukalapak, Lazada, Shopee, Tokopedia, and so on and so on. This is some examples also. From this description, we have to conclude that that's the internet and the others is very important, and that spread in the world and also in Indonesia. And Indonesia, I think, is very popular about startup. Just the President Indonesia Joko Widodo has explained this over time, yeah, until now. Nah, what is the next? How the digital economy and financial inclusion play a role in the Islamic boarding school in Indonesia. This is my point here. Why should halal value chain be developed through digital economy and financial inclusion? This is my idea. I have proposed this idea to the Bank Indonesia in my research, and I will share this idea to all of you. We know that most consumers, especially Muslim, now no longer consider product consumption aspect alone, but rather they consider and ensure that production and distribution process from upstream to downstream uses guaranteed halal and toyib resources. And second, in line with this development, halal value chain concept has become a driving force and constructively contribute to the sustainability and development of market share of halal industry, especially in Indonesia. The government through Bank Indonesia also stated that halal value chain has central role in helping the national economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic by estimating the growth in the halal food, fashion, Muslim-friendly tourism sectors to reach 4.5 until 4.3%. In fact, also we know that the number of Islamic boarding school in Indonesia is more than 20 or maybe 30,000 Islamic boarding school that spread across Indonesia with more than 2 or 3 million students. Islamic boarding school also not focus only education, but also focus entrepreneurship. In Indonesia, we know that like Gontor, Ponorogo, and then many Islamic boarding school now has developed entrepreneurship, not only Islamic education, but also entrepreneurship. Like in Yogyakarta, Lintang Songo ya, pesantren Lintang Songo and Sidogiri, ya, pesantren Sidogiri and the others ya. There are many project like entrepreneurship, not only Islamic education. Now, for example, I have survey some pesantren, some Islamic boarding school in Indonesia can be categorized into several business units. Take for example, there is a technology pesantren or Islamic boarding school that's focused on not only education or Islamic education, but also technology. There are 366 units, and then health centers, 349 units, and then sport, 797 units, and the others, 843 units. But also, yeah, we will show you some agribusiness, and there is some 1,479 units, vocational 112 units. There is some example how pesantren or Islamic boarding school now not only focus on Islamic education, but also entrepreneurship. I will skip this. This is the concept of the halal value chain, Islamic boarding school based halal value chain as a concept. I think all of you know about this, not only halal, but also toyib resources, including certification and so on and so on. I will skip this. And in theories relating to the how halal value chain or digital economy play its role in developing Islamic boarding school based halal value chain, I just take some theories from Porter 1998 about cluster based in economy. This is some pillars, three pillars here. Geographic area, then business environment, and then value creation. This is some point that is correlate to each other, and from pillar 1, and then pillar 2, and then pillar 3. Yeah, how take for example, in some place there is some center of activity. Yeah, like in Klaten in Jawa, there is some place that's very focused on industry, metal industry, and then from there, the center of activity then spread around the area. This is the main idea of cluster economy, cluster-based economy, and then business environment, and then value creation. This is the theory about halal value chain transformation in pesantren or in Islamic boarding school. theory, like for example, social entrepreneurship theory, social capital theory, and so on and so on. But I will just give some emphasis economy digital in pesantren and economy digital and transformasi social economy or social economic transformation. This is some 2 points I will give you some emphasis. Now, this is my idea how to correlate from how halal value chain based Islamic boarding school based halal value chain through digital economy and finance inclusion. This picture show you some description how subculture of pesantren. This is the first picture, and then halal value chain in unit, some like cooperative, and then small and medium enterprise in pesantren also develop, and then zakat unit, zakat infak sodakoh units also develop in pesantren. These units will work together and then will develop not only inside pesantren or Islamic boarding school, but also come out to the bigger business. Take, for example, correlate with BUMN, state enterprise in Indonesia, like PLN, like many others, and then cooperative, national cooperative. Also, there is some big cooperative in Indonesia. This process, I will give some title about agglomeration process. From the process, how is digital economy and financial inclusion play the role? This process will be accelerated by including financial inclusion and also digital economy. So I conclude that digital economy and financial inclusion is the big enabler to support the process, agglomeration process from the small units of business in pesantren or in Islamic boarding school to the bigger and bigger industry coming out from pesantren. And this is the process of agglomeration, I call it.
Ini tampaknya memang harus daerah ini harus.
And now I give some conclusion about all of this, how digital economy and Sharia financial inclusion support the correlation between Islamic boarding school-based halal value chain and its impact on social economy transformation, including change of entrepreneurship, change of life quality, and social inclusion. What is this? What is the impact of all of this? The first one is entrepreneurship attitude. This is the condition that shows the extent to which Islamic boarding school resident an innovative attitude, are motivated to be entrepreneurial, have high curiosity about entrepreneurship, and are able to identify opportunities to create new business units. And the second one is also level of social inclusion. This is also the impact of the Islamic boarding school based halal value chain to the social economic transformation. This is the condition that show the extent to which certain economic boarding school residents are able to utilize digital financial economy services optimally, which in turn will have quality of engagement in the social context and social inclusion process. This is, I think, the important condition for resident of santri, we call it santri in Indonesia, Islamic boarding school resident, or santri, to be engaged in social community around Islamic boarding school or around pesantren, di sekitar pesantren. And also, and the last one is quality of life. The quality of life also changing from the impact of Islamic boarding school halal value chain, and social economic transformation. This is the condition that reflect the quality of life Islamic boarding school resident, which is reflected in the level of welfare, quality of education, quality of health insurance, security, and so on and so on. This is also the impact of Islamic boarding school based halal value chain, and this is the picture how the halal value chains give some contribution, that is supported by digital economy and financial inclusion to the real life and to the better life for the community, especially santri or the Islamic boarding school resident. I think that's all for my presentation, and if I mistake, I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ibnu Nikam, as your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, as the participant, we have heard together the presentations of Professor Ibnu Nikam. If I can make a conclusion, at the first time, he talked about the global population increase, but interestingly, the increasing number of mobile users and the social media is also increased, but it is more the increasing number of mobile users and social media is bigger than the people population. And digital economy actually take a new technology, enterprise, and new technology, and how they link to one another. By digital technology, it should be improve the customer experience, product engagement, collaborative innovation, and also organization entrepreneurship. It means that if you want to success with the digital technology, it should be for these points. And also, Mr. Ibnu Nikam share his propose why should Islamic boarding school based on halal value chains should be developed. It will be very interesting because there are a big number of Islamic boarding school, and also there are a lot of numbers of students in Islamic boarding school. And Islamic boarding school is not only focused about education, but also focused on entrepreneurship and business unit. There are three pillars of cluster based on economy, a geographical area, business environment, and also value creation. That is, this theory is relevant with the development of Islamic boarding school with halal value chain. And the last explanation, Professor Ibnu Nikam shared the model of develop and accelerate Islamic boarding school based on halal value chains through digital economy and financial inclusion. It is about halal value chains in every some units in pesantren or Islamic boarding school. Start from the halal value chain in small medium enterprises inside Islamic boarding school, which will be synergized and collaboration with bigger industry outside pesantren. As if this model are implemented, the impact it should be improve the entrepreneurship attitude of the students, so the students can create the new business and improve the level of inclusion, improve the quality of engagement in social process, and also improve the quality of life. Thank you, Mr. Ibnu Nikam. We will invite you anymore to speak up in the discussion time. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the second speakers. I would like to greet Mr. Tetsu Konishi, PhD, as Associate Professor from Fukuoka Women's University, Japan. Hello, Mr. Tetsu. Can you hear my voice clearly?
Halo,
Ya,
selamat
Mr.
selamat pagi.
Selamat pagi.
Ya,
Hajime Masite.
hajimemashite. Terima kasih
Thank you
banyak.
very much.
Ya, thank you
May I
very much.
know, Mr. Tetsu, what time is it in Japan?
Now, 11 around 12 o'clock here
Okay.
in Japan. 2 hours
2 hours
ya
earlier
advance
than Indonesia, ya.
dan in Indonesia waktu Indonesia Barat. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you very much, Ibu Mia, and thank you very much for such a wonderful occasion for the.
Mr. Tetsu, before I give you the opportunity to speak and deliver your materials, I would like to introduce you to the audience here in the Zoom meeting. Mr. Tetsu Konishi, PhD, as the Associate Professor in Fukuoka Women's University, Japan. He graduated from Master of Public Policy, Tohoku University, Japan in 2009, and Doctor of Philosophy in Area Study, Kyoto University, Japan in 2016. What I am interested is, Mr. Tetsu is a Japanese, but the area of expertise are Indonesian economy, Indonesian political economy, Southeast Asian area studies. Furthermore, his academic works are discussing about Indonesian economy, such as fragility of financial supervision on non-bank sector in Indonesia, mechanism of saham goreng in misappropriation of PT Asuransi Jiwasraya's asset, which is published soon this year. Due to this expertise and experiences, he will share with us entitled Digitalization and State Capitalism in Indonesia. Mr. Tetsu, you have 25 minutes to speak and the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Mia. Can I share my PowerPoint?
The committee, please, would you please to help Mr. Tetsu to share screen or give the permission to him, please?
Can you hear? Can you see
Yes,
my?
I can see your screen.
Okay.
Clearly.
Thank you very much, Ibu Mia, and then thank you very much for such wonderful occasion for in Raden Intan Lampung, Indonesia, and thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tetsu Konishi from Fukuoka Women's University, and I would like to share my research about the digitalization and state capitalism in Indonesia. Actually, I am now specializing on the political economy and economy in Indonesia, and now focusing on the state capitalism in pandemic era. But I am now when I receive my invitation letter from the Ibu Professor Henny, thank you very much. And the title is the Digitalization Financial Industry to the Real Sector. So I am now considering what should I share to the audience. Now we are in the digitalization era, and also we are in the post-pandemic era. So maybe I can share some, and I am focusing on state capitalism in Indonesia. So maybe I can share, I can combine the topic of the digitalization and state capitalism. So and I am, and actually yesterday was the very significant occasion, because Prime Minister Kishida of Japan and the next president or of Indonesia, Republic of Indonesia, Bapak Subianto, met in Tokyo for the future, for the seeking the future friendship between the two countries. And maybe maybe you have some dispute about the legitimization of the result of the election, but so we have to wait the decision of the Mahkamah Konstitusi. But in terms of the friendship between Japan and Indonesia, it is very significant summit meeting. So, and I'm very pleased to, in this occasion for sharing the idea of the image of the I am very pleased to participate this seminar, webinar with Indonesian friends. So, and I would like to, this is my contents of this presentation. Please check it. And let me start about the state capitalism, explaining about the state capitalism in pandemic, in general. We have the theory on state capitalism in emerging economies. United States scholar Johan Bremer told that in his book, an economic system, this is state capitalism is an economic system in which governments manipulate market outcomes for political purposes. And also he points out that a decade after the GFC global financial crisis, there is an emerging realization that reviving an economy required the state to revitalize its role as a strategic, long-term, and mission-oriented investor. This is from the books of the Lolita, who is from the OECD. So, and this Professor Lolita mentioned about the, however, Professor Lolita mentioned about the cronyism under the state capitalism. Globalization increased the influence of the capital over the bureaucracy, making politicians more dependent on capital in the electoral process. And he mentioned that the risk of corruption is exacerbated when SOEs are not equipped with the autonomous, professional, and independent boards responsible for ensuring an arm's length relationship between the SOE and the government. This is about the, he wrote in 2012-22. So he corrected the data before the pandemic. So this is about the before the pandemic era, but we are now in the emergence era and the post-COVID era. So I wondered this definition, including the Ian Bremer's definition of the state capitalism. Is it correct? Is it? Can we adapt this definition to in modern era? So, and if we look at the macroeconomic policy, the governments in emerging economy, not only Indonesia, but also China, Brazil, Argentina, and so on, they have the emergence of the some kinds of monetarization, and which International Monetary Fund pointed out that many central banks in emerging market and developing economies have used asset purchases to reduce financial stresses in the context of the COVID-19 crisis. And they pointed out that this is beneficial for emerging market and developing economies, and the government and the governments. The purpose of this asset purchases is mitigate the sharp stresses and liquidity pressures that emerged in local currency bond markets. And these actions lowered bond yields significantly without exerting downward pressure on exchange rates. But they pointed out some serious risks, mainly the high inflation and the relationship between inflation and fiscal deficits may become highly nonlinear. So in the context of the state capitalism, maybe this monetarization movement is related to the state capitalism. In the pandemic era. So, and also, if we look at the movement of the monetary policy, there are some interesting policies that that is the central bank digital currency, which called CBDC. And this movement is the very significant and in the emerging countries, not only emerging countries but the developed countries. 130 countries now are considering or adopting in near future CBDC. Especially, maybe you know the Cambodia's back home digital currency, but actually the Cambodian government doesn't acknowledge back home as a CBDC, but there have. But de facto, maybe we can say de facto or CBDC. But not only the Cambodia, but China, Brazil, and US, EU, India, and also Japan is now considering about adopting the CBDC. But I think it does not. It unlikely adopt in near future, but far masih jauh ya, masih panjang, jangka waktunya panjang, rencananya jangka waktunya panjang. Tapi actually yesterday we got a new news about the CBDC in worldwide. This is the Nikkei Asia's breaking news that the top central banks to lay groundwork for instant digital cross-border payments. So the world are now moving to considering to realizing the CBDC. This project is led by the I forgot Bank of International Settlements, or we can say BIS, and this so. The Japan and South Korea, the UK, France, Switzerland, and Mexico, and US also participate in this project named Project Agora. Yeah. And not only the central bank, but also the private mega banks joining to this project. Actually, Japan is not. You can see this sentence. But the BOJ draws a line between its involvement here and issuing a digital currency itself. The Japanese central bank has indicated has no plans to issue a digital currency, but is prepared to do so should it come necessary in the future. So actually, BOJ, Bank of Japan, is not soon ready to this to adopt the CBDC, but the world central bank is considering about the CBDC. So, and many of you wonders what is CBDC? This is the we have the definition about the CBDC. One, digital money issued by a central bank. Second, legal tender currency. And third, liability of central bank. And this third one, actually, according to relating to this third definition, actually the Facebook's Meta got a Libra project. Meta is as we know, the big platform in US's platform companies and private company. So the private company promotes the named Libra project, CBD, cryptocurrency. But many countries feels this movement is very dangerous for their sovereignty. So they got some regulation to this movement, and the world's central banks started to promote or start to research about the CBDC's realization. Actually, this CBDC is now supported by the crypto technology, and there are so many features about this technology. First, cryptographic technology. Second, blockchain. Third, distributed ledger technology. And these top three are the general is widely spoken in the context of the CBDC or crypto assets. But Professor Ueda of Tokyo University mentions that another two features are very critical for this CBDCs. The one is authorizing a centralized deal, and the fifth is the money supply are manageable in advance. That is the fulfill the Taylor rules, so that the inflations were manageable for the government or central banks. Actually, the definition of central bank digital currency, CBDC, is adopted, which many central banks are adopted. For example, the Bank of England mentions that the central bank digital currency is money that a country's central bank can issue. It's called digital or electronic because it isn't physical money like notes and coins. It is in the form of an amount on a computer or similar device. And also World Economic Forum, the website, if you look at the website, you can see the definition too. And now, so what is the benefits for the economy if we got a CBDC realized? And there are some discussion about the benefits. First, promote financial inclusion because the CBDC can. There are so many places that remote places that where people can access to the ATM or bank account. CBDC can promote if you just only have devices, we can access to the currency. So people can access to the currency. So, and second is the platform for creating financial products and services. And the third is the monitor cross-border transactions. And these three can contribute to the real sector's growth because people can easier to access the currency, and financial products and services are supplied to more easier, much easier to people. And the third one, I think the third one is the more my interest is in the third one, because the actually, as even Mia introduced me, that I am now focused. I have focusing on the saham goreng atau semacam itu. But so I am now considering that I am now thinking about the. I am interested in the effectiveness of the monitor governments or financial, OJK atau Bank Indonesia, and monitors, financial monitors monitor effectiveness of the financial monitors monitor, so that so if the CBDC adopted according to the general theory of the CBDC, it might be more effective to monitor the transactions, not only the cross-border, but but also the inside the territory of the state. So in general, the promoting the CBDC promoting the real sector's growth. But there are some concerns in the theory. One is affect to the financial sector market structure. Maybe this is very big risk or big affection. And the second is safety, stability, and transparency, because the CBDC, as we saw above, the CBDC is rely on some kind of technology, cryptocurrency technology, and we have some illegal cases in the U.S. You know, maybe you know, some of you know I forgot. Sorry, some illegal cases in the U.S. So many cases. I got some news about these risks in the U.S. Now, these are about the in general theory of the state capitalism and the theory of the CBDC, not only in Indonesia, but I am now focusing on the in Indonesia. I am now explaining about the situation in Indonesia. And if we look at the discussion about the political economy in Indonesia, there are discussion about the cronyism, capitalism, or oligarchy is maybe the famous one, which Professor Betty Hadis and Professor Richard Robinson or Professor Winters mentioned that the state's apparatus had been captured by political economic oligarchy, and they recognized their power relations after the 1998 crisis and the reform. And actors are the military business, Chinese tycoons, probably big businesses, and actually my doctoral thesis is about this one, probably big businesses in Indonesia and so on. And these are about the before the these discussion about the cronyism and capitalism or oligarchy are about the Orde Baru and post Orde Baru sebelum Jokowi government. And so, how is the Jokowi's government? There are discussion about the state capitalism, resurgence of the state capitalism, which Professor Kim and Professor Sumnar mentioned that the government has taken more active role of SOEs in economic development as agent pembangunan. And their major goal should be to contribute to national advancement. And the Jokowi's government, critical against the past government using SOEs as cash cows and profit maximization as SOE's priority, like private companies. But the government using the SOEs for building as much infrastructure as possible rather than simply enjoying profits from the existing ones. So especially the Kim named this structure of the state capitalism as restrained state capitalism because because there are no dictators or no authoritarianism, but we are now in democratized era, so there are so many factors which restrained the state-led capitalism, so that he named this structure as restrained state capitalism. Oh, sorry. And I have actually I have some data about this state capitalism structure, but I forgot to. But so many data about this, and especially in pandemic era, there have some emergence of the issuing the Surat Praharga Negara after the pandemic has started in 2020, and also past pandemic in 2023, there have some amount of the SBN ini masih tingkat tinggi dalam anggaran negara. Sorry, I forgot to put the matrix on the graphs, but this is the point. What I'm mentioned and wanted to say to share, and so how about the in this context? How about the CBDC's position in the state structure or the government's policy? Indonesia, BOJ, Bank Indonesia have a project for the Indonesia's own CBDC named Project Garuda. And Bank Indonesia issued a white paper, and in 2022 and 2023, they have a consultative paper, which title is the Wholesale Rupiah Digital Cash Ledger. In these papers, Bank Indonesia also acknowledged that the BCBDC would promote the real sector's growth, not only the financial sector, but also the real sectors. And especially CBDC promotes the financial inclusion, as I mentioned before, so that the growth, this growth. And this is the Indonesia's government's political object. So this movement, CBDC movement, is very familiar with the state capitalism. And actually, the financial resources and financial facilities are concentrated in Java. This is from this data is shown in the this consultative paper, in OJCA's data, this is the bank umumnya, sebaran kredit dan pembiayaan bank umum menurut lokasi Jawa is the biggest one, 4,372 trillion rupiah, the nominal credit, and this is the biggest. So while the Papua, Maluku and Papua, just only 101 trillion rupiah. And also the penyebaran kredit pembiayaan or pembiayaan UMKM is also concentrating in Java, 57.43%. So that if there are disparities for financial resources to access, especially for UMKM. So if these factors are if CBDCs are adopted, these would be diratakan kepada daerah-daerah, bukan hanya Jawa tapi di seluruh Indonesia. So, and I would give some remarks. This is actually the trial one, and that the CBDC projects contains political goals for growth, and while development of crypto tech has been driven by private business, which I mentioned, as I mentioned that Libra, Meta's Libra, or something like that, and also CBDC projects monitoring money flow or regulating money flow. This is also the political goals for growth, political goals. And these features of the CBDC would be familiar with state capitalism. For example, China's digital currency of ECNY is typical one that the government of China or Bank of People's China would like to control the money flow and using the ECNY then. So I am now considering that Indonesia's Project Garuda is now going to where it's the Bank Indonesia and the Indonesian government Project Garuda would like would move forward to maybe it promote it might be promote further state capitalism features or any other kind. So this is and this is the reference for this presentation. And thank you very much for this wonderful occasion for my presentation. And I am sorry that my English is not fluent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tetsu. It's okay. We can I understand what you said, and I heard that your Indonesian are better. So maybe after this, in the discussion time, we can use Bahasa Indonesia if you don't mind this. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Mr. Tetsu Konishi presentations. If I can make a conclusion, Mr. Tetsu at the beginning of the presentation said that it should be good collaboration between Indonesia and Japan, since the next president, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, came to Japan yesterday, and he opened the presentation with the state and capitalism in pandemic era. There is a theory on state capitalism in emerging economies, which state that an economic system in which government manipulate market outcomes for political purposes. But and then he showed the movement in monitoring policy. There are a lot of countries considering about central bank digital currency or CBDC. However, it needs a long time to implement digital currency all over the world. Moreover, there are some projects in terms of digital currency like Meta's Libra project, technology for crypto assets, and the benefit of digitalization and adoption of CBDC for economy, such as promote financial inclusion, because we know there are a lot of persons who cannot access the financial product and services, but with the CBDC itself, they can be more access. The banking platform will be more accessible and will be easier to access. And the second benefit of digitalization or adoption CBDC is monitor cross-border transaction around the world. Like if we want to see the data of transaction, it is easier for us to access the data all over the world. And there are some concern about this. First is effect to financial sector market structure and safety, stability, and transparency. As we know that there are some illegal cases happened, like which are the illegal cases are risk in the safety of the data. And Mr. Tetsu in the presentation showed the transformation of state capitalism in Indonesia, start from Orde Baru and post Orde Baru, and then the surgence of state capitalisms. It is in 2014 with when pandemic, pasca pandemic, until now in Jokowi's government era. And Mr. Tetsu at the last presentation talk about Project Garuda and Indonesian state. It is interesting, I think, because Bank Indonesia issued the consultative paper entitled Wholesale Rupiah Digital Cash Leader, while OJK has the data about financial inclusion. I think there are some correlation between each other, because if CDBC is implemented, it will increase, it will be decrease the financial conclusion, because some persons or a lot of persons can easier to access the digital platform of banking service and banking providers. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's look forward what will happen in Indonesia's Project Garuda. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for discussion session. So, for this beginning discussion session, I invite you to open mic and directly ask and talk with our speakers. And I would like to invite anymore I would like our first speaker, Mr. Ibnu, to join with us anymore to have a discussion with the participant. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, you can raise your hand. You can click the reaction and choose the raise hand and then I will give you the time for speak, and you can talk directly with the speakers.
Okay, thank you. But before answering
yes,
answering the question from the audience, I would like to answer some questions written in chat here.
Okay. Okay, please, Mr. Ibnu Kizam, to answer the questions which are interested for you in the chat box. During we are waiting for the participant who want to talk directly to the speakers, please.
Just take, for example, here I will answer the question from Dara, Triana, Nova, Ningrum, yeah. The question is, how can Indonesia leverage its cultural diversity to foster innovation and growth in the digital economy while ensuring inclusivity for all its citizens? In this occasion, I would answer this question. Now, we realize that Indonesia is a big country, you know, and Indonesia has diversity in culture and in ethnics and in religions and customs and so on and so on. So this is, we have to look this diversity not as obstacles, but it is the wealth of the Indonesian country. So the first one we have to leverage is how to give fair level of education all over population in Indonesia. In Indonesia, I looked at there are so many different infrastructure in education. So the government should ensure that infrastructure in education have to be fairly developed all communities in Indonesia. This is the first priority I consider. And the second one is we have to ensure that infrastructure, especially in internet or in electricity, and then in facilitating social media and so on, should be developed, because this is the first infrastructure that makes people in Indonesia have opportunity to get into the communication and in social media all over his friends and also the community around him. And I think this is the two things that must be fulfilled by the government. But also not only that the government, I think not only the central government, but also the province and the local government have to facilitate the media or the media and also some like culture which I think we call it local wisdom or something like that, that must be maintained, should be maintained by the local government and should be developed and should be integrated with the culture from other community like Java and outside Java, like Kalimantan and also Lampung, I think should integrate with the culture of other communities all over in Indonesia. We have to make some collaboration of culture around Indonesia. I think is also important, I think. This is my answer to my Yeah, my brother Dara is Triana Nova Ningrum.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ibnu Kizam.
And then the second one is from Muhammad Iman. Muhammad Iman. There are three questions. What is the ultimate goal of your envision for this idea? Are you aiming for platform like Gojek, Tokopedia? And the second question is, what initial steps do you propose we take to kickstart the execution or development of your idea? And the third one, if you proceed, who would be your primary target enabler? The teaching staff, the school administration, or the students, and or the government entities. From Muhammad Iman. I think there are some steps to do. Yeah, I recommend for the not only the government but also all the stakeholders. There are some steps. The first one is about the regulation. The regulation governing business governance in Islamic boarding school environment in Indonesia should be developed and should be regulated. And also the second one is building big data for Islamic boarding school throughout Indonesia. Building big data is very important because Islamic boarding school not only is situated in the urban community, but also the rural community and throughout Indonesia. So there are so many Islamic boarding school that's situated in rural community, not only in urban community. So we have to build a big data for Islamic boarding school to make sure that data about Islamic boarding school should be regulated and should be formally registered in Indonesia. So this is the problem, I think, because we know recently that some Islamic boarding school are misused by the head of the Islamic boarding school of we know recently about the malpractice malpractice of Islamic boarding school in Indonesia. The third one is creating a special marketplace. Yeah. This is, I think, is very important also because not only we know that like Tokopedia and then Lazada, Bibli, and so on is belong to rich men or rich stakeholders, but we have to imagine that something like that, Lazada or Bibli, should belong to the Islamic boarding school in Indonesia. So we have to create special marketplace for Islamic boarding schools throughout in Indonesia. And the fourth is how we have to simplify the flow and halal certification process at an affordable cost, I think. And also because if to certify halal is very expensive, so will affordable by Muslim people, I think. And the fifth is we have to develop sustainable human resource entrepreneurship or digital business training programs and also curriculum, because the curriculum in Islamic boarding school is so so various, so different to each other. So we have to standardize the curriculum and also the governance, the governance of Islamic boarding school to be more more similar, more similar and also more standardized. And 7 is providing access and availability of capital for the expansion of Islamic boarding school products and services through Sharia financial institution, as well as providing massive financial institutional infrastructure like cooperative and then zakat institution and so on and so on. And the last is we have to engage the government support, because I think it is necessary to facilitate and affirm the development of network between Sharia financial institution as well as the provision of financial institutional infrastructure like zakat and then infaq institution within Islamic boarding school and business industry unit related industry not only inside but also outside Islamic boarding school. This is some steps to do in implementing halal value chain in pesantren or in Islamic boarding school. This is the answer for Mr. Muhammad Iman. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ibnu Kizam, to answering the question. And we would like to invite the participant who want to ask directly to raise your hand. I think I saw one participant raise your hand, but it has been omitted. During waiting for the participant, Mr. Ibnu Kizam, maybe your answer is related to Mr. Syamsul Hilal questions. He talked about
the
number of boarding school is in our country is very much, but there are a little number of it. Be good management or modern management. What is your idea to deliver your purpose to boarding school community? It's about integrated idea, digitalization, halal change value to improve added value of boarding school economics.
Yes, I think some answer just I said is also really related to the question of Samsul Hilal, because I have some idea, some recommendation just like that. Take for example, the regulation, the regulation for Islamic Islamic boarding school now is so I think not so good lah, good but not sufficient, necessary but not sufficient. I think like that. I just call it, is it necessary but not sufficient, because the regulations should cover, should encompass many things in Islamic boarding school, not only the just registration or formal registration of Islamic boarding school, but also the governance of Islamic boarding school that should be standardized by the government. And I think there are many Islamic boarding schools in Indonesia that is not formally registered. So we look at some misuse of practices in Islamic boarding school in Indonesia. So this is the first priority for the government or the stakeholders to regulate the governance and the standardization of all the governance of Islamic boarding school in Indonesia. And the second one is also we have to give support in financial support, probably, to be given in Islamic boarding school that should be improved in many things. Take for example giving some good lecturers or good teachers, and also to standardize the capability of the teachers in Islamic boarding school or in pesantren and so on and so on. This is the priority because I think the teachers in pesantren, I think, is so diverse, yeah, so different to each other. So maybe pesantren have some specific ideology, Islamic ideology. So we have to, yeah, to give some, yeah, modernization in teaching, in curriculum, and so on and so on, because this is very important, I think.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there
this
are
is my answer to Samsul, yeah,
yeah,
Samsul.
Mr. Samsudin. So there are some aspects to modernize Islamic boarding school. It's not only about the internal Islamic boarding school, but also the role of the government will be important to improve the quality of Islamic boarding school. And Mr. Ibnu Kizam and also Mr. Tetsu, there are one question I see here in the chat box that is related to both of you. The question is from Dr. Oki Darmawan. Assalamualaikum, Professor Ibnu. My question are, how can digitalization in the financial sector adhere to Islamic principles such as interest-free transaction or riba and risk sharing or mudarobah? And the second station, maybe it is, I think it is related to Mr. Tetsu presentation. What are the ethical considerations surrounding data privacy and security in the digital economy from an Islamic perspective, particularly concerning the protection of personal information? So please, the first, Mr. Ibnu, to respond this question.
Okay, thank you for the question of Oki Darmawan. The question is, how can digitalization in financial sector adhere to Islamic principle of such as interest-free transaction, risk sharing, mudarabah? Yeah, I think that digitalization in financial sector should adhere to Islamic principles, I think, and specifically adhere to the concept of maqasid Sharia, I think, maqasid Sharia, because digitalization in financial sector is something public now, not only public, but also the private, So we have to regulate between the rules of public in using digitalization and the private sector in using digitalization. So we have to regulate between how to use digitalization in finance sector publicly and also privately, I think. So the concept of maqasid Sharia, we have 5 pillars here. Like the first one is hifdul nafs, to maintain and to guarding the property of me, of all of us, we have to maintain and to guard, the property and also the generation and so on in 5 pillars of maqasid Sharia is very relevant to be adhered by the digitalization in financial sector, because digitalization in the financial sector should be increased and improved, but we have to make sure that digitalization should not contradict with the privacy of our privacy. This is the principles of how to develop digitalization in the financial sector. So we have to take, for example, we have to get my privacy about private data. Take, for example, we know that like my identity, our identity is now in public, I think, like KTP, KTP is now not privacy but public. So we know that actually this is the contradiction, about the property of us, that is broken, by the not only the community around us, but also the government also give some policy that's open my privacy. So this is, I think, something should be considered to be developed in the future. So what is called privacy and what is called public? It should be defined precisely, I think.
Okay, define the privacy and publicity. And as you know, Mr. Ibnu Kizam, sometimes as the personal cannot define both of them, so they just share in his social media or their social media about his ID card. That is actually very harmful for them, actually.
Yeah.
And I would like to invite anymore Mr. Tetsu. Mr. Tetsu, as you said before in your presentation that there are some effect or some concern about the digitalization and adoption of CBDC is about safety, stability, and transparency. Maybe you can give the response to this question, the second question from Dr. Oki Dermawan, please.
Okay. Thank you very much for the questioning to my presentation. And actually, I am not focusing on the Islamic finance story, but I would like to answering in general about the privacy information. And actually, there are some types of the CBDC, and there are some how to issuing the CBDC. There are some direct issuing and indirect, secara indirect, and also the some kind of the using the blockchain, and also something the type of the accounting and token type and many but actually so the privacy is the very 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 important for the there are some discussions about the CBDC, and there are I think there are some scholars that mentioning that maybe the CBDC should be the mixturing some type of the CBDCs and maybe actually there in US some kind of the irregularities. There are some news about the irregularities for the and especially EU has got a very rigid regulations about the private information, general data protection regulation, or GDPR. And so maybe there should be some kind of the international cooperation among the countries which will issue the CBDC to secure the privacy or information. And maybe there should be the regulation to protect the privacy. And this is not only the about the CBDC, but also in the digitalized era, maybe and especially the CBDC is the not just only about the governments issuing, but also the private banks are related to this system because they have some they mitigate the transaction for CBDC using for the transaction which would be which would use the CBDC. So not only so in the international cooperation for the regulating the privacy, not only the central banks in the related countries, but also the private banks should be on the table to create the institutions for securing the privacy. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tetsu. And one more question. It is from one more question in the chat box for Pak Tetsu. He said, how big is the progress of digitalization and state capitalism by Indonesian country? By Indonesian country compared to Asian countries or Asia Pacific countries?
Thank you very much. How big is the progress? Yeah, actually, I am now focusing on just on the Indonesia and actually maybe ASEAN or maybe if in the context of the state capitalism, China is the significant case of the state capitalism and also the state capitalism which would committed to the issuing CDBC. So maybe China, as you know, China is a very, very significant, powerful nowadays, powerful states in the finance too. And but Chinese government is now seeking to influence renminbi internationalization, but many scholars pointed out that internationalized Chinese renminbi is not likely to more influence to the international financial system. But yeah, so maybe the state capitalism, if the technology would more advanced in the future, I'm not familiar with technology discussion about the technology, financial technology, but maybe something in some future, maybe China is the more Chinese CBDC would be promoted by state capitalism, and maybe Indonesia. Actually, the state capitalism, Indonesian state capitalism is kesannya lebih pelan-pelan saja dan dibandingkan Cina. Jadi CBDC itu di CBDC Indonesia itu juga mungkin dibandingkan Cina tidak begitu besar. Tapi kalau maybe the the discussion about the leapfrog of the development, it might be some potential development. Now, maybe Ruby more nowadays the job maybe dibandingkan Jepang, Indonesia lebih maju kesannya ya, kesan menurut saya kesannya lebih maju daripada Jepang digital in terms of the digitalization. So the maybe nanti di cita-cita mudah-mudahan nanti lebih maju the CBDC project Garuda in Indonesia. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Tetsu, before we continue to answer the question, would you please help us by moving a little bit your seat? Maybe you sit in front of the windows so we can see your screen are black out and then come again or something like that. Maybe the sunshine should be avoided from your background, please. Okay, during waiting for Mr. Tetsu move a little bit to in his seat, I want to inform that Mr. Ibnu Kizam has shared his material about digitalizations in Islamic boarding school, so you can freely share from the chat column. And there one participant who has raised his hand, Muhammad Iqbal Akbar. So I would like to
Muhammad Akbar.
Yeah, I would like to give you.
I will. May I answer the question from Reza Ronaldo here from chat box?
Please, Mr. Ibnu Kizam.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reza Ronaldo. How big the development of digital startup in the context of increasing digital creative and its influence on the growth of Islamic economic in Indonesia, and what is your opinion regarding this matter? I think the chance of developing startup in the context of increasing digital creative in Islamic economic is very open, I think, yeah, because the digital creative, like digital startup in Indonesia, is so increasing and so growing, I think. And not only covering conventional, but also Islamic economic and Islamic finance, I think. Yeah, not only covering conventional, but also Islamic economy or Islamic finance. Because the people, I think most of the people in Indonesia is Muslim, so they use both, yeah, both Islamic economic and also conventional ones, I think. Take, for example, in some pesantren, from my survey, most of the pesantren or Islamic boarding school use conventional banks, yeah, conventional banks, not Islamic banks. This is something surprising, I think, because I think not, yeah, Muslim people in Indonesia just think that banks is similar, yeah, Islamic and conventional just similar. So this is surprising because in some pesantren, most of the pesantren, it's about 60% of the pesantren or Islamic boarding school still use conventional banks, not Islamic bank. So this something surprising, and why they still use conventional banks. This is something should be questioned by by all of us. Why the Islamic boarding schools still use conventional banks, not Islamic banks? In Indonesia, not only Islamic high school like Win Lampung or Win Jakarta, or also still use some conventional banks. So this, I think, the chance of startup, in the context of increasing digital creative, also open. I think, not only conventional but also Islamic economy or Islamic finance. I think this is my answer, Reza Ronaldo. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ibnu Kizam. So it's time for me to welcome Muhammad Iqbal Akbar to deliver your question, please.
Okay, excuse me, Miss. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Iqbal Akbar. I am postgraduate student at Sharia Economic Law Faculty. Okay. Sorry, I cannot speak English very well, but I want to try to be well. Earlier, Mr. Tersu explained about crypto technology. As we know, the Indonesian currency, namely rupiah, is experiencing a decline. Is exchange price with American currency, namely the dollar, or we usually call, or what we usually call inflation. Okay, the question is, does the use crypto technology have an influence on the rise and fall of currency exchange rates, especially Indonesia currency, namely the rupiah? And can it also influence the upholding of Islamic legal principle in economic aspect, such as avoiding usury? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muhammad Iqbal Akbar. So would you like to give the response to this question, Mr. Tetsu?
Thank you. Sorry, my camera is fixed. That my presentation, my
Mr.
camera.
Tetsu, but it's okay. You can just open the camera because it's
Okay.
better if we can see your face. But I think it's better than before.
Oh yeah.
There is no blackout and shine anymore.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Akbar, for questioning. Sorry. So let me simplify your question. That so maybe you are asking about the how if the CBDC or the government and bank central would take the CBDC, is inflation would be rising, right? Is it my correct that if I think that there is discussion that maybe the CBDC would promote higher inflation, but there are some if the people's actually there in the discussion there had been some risk that the people who use the cryptocurrency or then does not have some confidence about the system of the cryptocurrency, there might be the high rate inflation. But if and they say that if the people is confident about the system, it might be that it is unlikely to inflation happens. So the important thing is that I think the how to making the rule to making the institution in order to people's confident about this CDBC system or rule, such as the transparency and as I mentioned that before, and transparency or and so on. So that maybe it depends on how to make rule on the institutions in order to controlling the inflation. Sorry, my English is not good. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Tetsu Konishi. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is the end for our discussion today. Thank you very much for all the speakers. Thank you very much, Mr. Tetsu Konishi from Fukuoka Women's University. And thank you very much, Professor Dr. Ibnu Kizam, MSI AK CA, as Dean of Faculty Economics and Business, UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you.
And for all the participants who has joined us since the morning until now, at the end of this session, thank you very much, who have watched international webinar with the theme Contribution of Digitalization Financial Industry to the Real Sectors. I want to say apologize if I cannot ask the speakers to answer all the questions have you put in the chat box. We will see you again in the next webinar, and we really appreciate for all the speakers and all the participants. Thank you for your attention. I'm Nia Safina as the moderator. We'll sign out. Good afternoon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
But before, for all the participants, before you have signed out from the Zoom, I forgot one thing. At the time when we have the photo session, I remember that Mr. Tetsu hasn't joined yet. So would you like to please open your camera for the last time? We would like to have the photo session together with Mr. Tetsu, please. For the committee, please help me to take our photograph together with Mr. Tetsu and all the participants. Are you ready? Okay, I think all the participants has opened the camera. And then, okay. The committee, would you please to take our picture? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. See you next time. And again, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All of you, thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Prof. Kizam.
Sama-sama, terima kasih Bu.
Terima kasih, Prof. Kizam.
Ya,
Thanks very much.
Tetsu, terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih banyak Profesor Mitheni dan
Masih.
Ibu Mia ya.
Ya.
Sama-sama.
See you again, Mr.
See you
Tashu.
again.
Okay, thank you. Terima kasih.
Mr. Tetsu, are you live in Indonesia? Do you live in Indonesia so you can speak Indonesia?
Prof. Tetsu, mereka ingin dengar Prof. Tetsu bicara bahasa Indonesia.
Ya, ya sedikit lebih lancar daripada bahasa Inggris. Ya, saya pusing-pusing pakai bahasa Inggris. Aduh, sorry ya.
Ya,
Actually, it's okay you use Indonesia to answer the question.
Ya, ya. Saya malu sekali.
Yang
Terima
pasti
kasih banyak.
terima kasih Prof. Kita bisa ketemu lagi nanti di episode di acara-acara berikutnya. Kalau Mr. Tetsu ini komunikasi, dia lebih senang pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Ya, ya. Sedikit, tapi bahasa Indonesia juga tidak begitu bagus, Pak.
Baguslah Prof.
Terima kasih banyak.
Prof, kapan ke Jakarta, Prof?
Iya, mudah-mudahan nanti cita-cita ya nanti near future ya. Nanti Agustus ya paling paling cepat Agustus Juli ya. Ya mudah-mudahan ya ketemu. Ya saya pengen ke Lampung juga. Ya nanti
Info ya Prof kalau ke Lampung.
mudah-mudahan. Iya.
Oke, terima kasih Prof.
Ya, terima kasih banyak Bu Heni.
Ya,
Terima kasih Bu Heni
baik.
dan
Terima kasih,
Pak
Prof.
Iya,
Zulfa.
iya.
Terima kasih semua yang dari Umala ya sudah hadir. Kemudian Prof Imam baru muncul ya.
Assalamualaikum Bunda, sehat Bunda.
Ya,
Dinda dan Heni.
Prof, terima kasih banyak Prof. Prof
Baik,
Lila.
sama-sama.
Iya, senang bisa jumpa Prof.
Arigato, Prof.
Arigato.
Ya.
Arigato.
Saya undur diri ya Bu Wadir ya.
Baik,
Semuanya.
Jumatan
Raisu,
juga Bapak
kemudian
Ibu ya.
Prof Ibnu ya. Mari.
Ya,
Assalamualaikum.
Prof Ibnu sudah keluar ya.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Pamit ya Bu Wadir, Pak Samsul,
Ya,
makasih.
siap.
Terima kasih.
Ya, silakan Bapak-bapak sudah mendekati waktu Jumatan nih.
Siap. Permisi ya
Ya.
Bu, mau siap-siap ke masjid ya.
Baik, kita tutup sampai di sini ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Bu
wabarakatuh.
Aja.
Terima kasih Bunda dan Bapak.
Bu Haja dari rumah ya Bu Haja ya?
Ya.
Oke. Iyalah. Selamat Hari Raya ya Bu Haja. Iya, belum berhari raya kita udah selamat hari raya. Ini hari terakhir kita.
Terima kasih ya, saya keluar mau nguji. Bu Wadir,
Ya,
terima kasih.
terima kasih Prof Agus.
Ya, saya lanjutkan perjuangan nguji.
Lanjutkan perjuangannya, semangat Prof.
Bunda, minal aizin wal faizin, mohon maaf lahir batin Bunda.
Ya, sama-sama. Ini siapa ya kok tulisannya Samsung?
Nisa Bunda, Amanatun Niswah.
Ya ampun, selamat ya pengantin baru nih.
Kok pengantin baru? Bukan Bunda.
Oh, bukan ya? Yang pengantin baru siapa? Bukan Nisa ya?
Nisa angkatan Dewi Tradena Bunda.
Oh iya, betul tulisannya Samsung. Udah baru melihat wajahnya. Iya, minal aidin wal faizin ya, Ananda ya.
Ya, sama-sama Bunda.
Ya, baik. Tanya Kang Prof mau keluar tuh, belum keluar dia. Ini Julianas, apa kabarnya Julianas? Pak Dr. Susianto, apa kabar? Kasus, apa kabar Kak?